Please video like and subscribe this channel. The medical chamber aboard the orbital habitat Voraltaris was silent except for the low hum of bioscanners. Soft blue light washed over the curved walls, reflecting off crystalline instruments grown rather than built. To the Threxian people, medicine was sacred, an exact science perfected over millennia. Nothing unexpected happened here. Until today. Lyra stood motionless at the center of the chamber, her four-fingered hands clasped tightly against her chest. Her skin, usually a calm silver blue, had faded to a pale hue that betrayed her fear. Beside her stood her bondmate, Keth, his taller frame rigid, eyes fixed on the translucent hologram floating before them. Inside the projection was a detailed rendering of Lyra's internal biology. And something else. A shape. Small. Distinct. Alive. The healer, Elder Sarun, stared at the image with disbelief rippling across his aged features. His voice, when it came, was barely above a whisper. This is not possible. Keth felt his heart pound violently. Say it again, he demanded. Tell us what the scan shows. Sarun turned slowly. It shows a developing child. The words fell like a death sentence. Lyra gasped, stumbling backward. No, she said, shaking her head. You're wrong. You must be wrong. Because everyone in that room knew the truth. Lyra had been declared infertile since birth. The beginning, a life without hope. Among the Threxians, fertility was not just biological, it was cultural. To bear a child was considered a sacred continuation of one's lineage. Those born unable to conceive were treated with kindness, but always with quiet pity. Lyra had learned her fate early. As a juvenile, she had endured countless scans, tests, and genetic reviews. The conclusion was always the same: her reproductive matrix was incomplete. A rare defect. Permanent. Untreatable. She had cried once. Only once. After that, she learned to live with it. Keth had chosen her anyway. I didn't bond with you for children, he had told her during their joining ceremony. I bonded with you. Their family unit was small but full of love. They served aboard Voraltaris as systems analysts, maintaining the habitat that orbited their homeworld. Life was quiet. Predictable. Safe. So when Lyra began feeling strange sensations, fatigue, internal pressure, unusual energy fluctuations, she dismissed them as stress. Until the pain came. Until she collapsed during a routine shift. And until the scan revealed something that should never have existed. The middle, fear spreads through the family. Within hours, the chamber was sealed. Sarun summoned additional healers. Then geneticists. Then, quietly, representatives of the Threxian Council of Continuity, the governing body responsible for population stability and biological law. The image was projected again, larger now, rotating slowly. A child. Not an anomaly. Not a tumor. Not a parasite. A perfectly structured Threxian fetus. This violates every principle of our science, said Councillor Vesh, her tone sharp with unease. Infertility in this form is absolute. Keth stepped forward. Then explain what you see. Vesh hesitated. I cannot. That was when the fear truly began. Because when science fails, the Threxians believed only two explanations remained. Miracle. Or threat. Rumors spread through Voraltaris like solar fire. Whispers of an impossible child. Of forbidden experiments. Of ancient legends long dismissed as myth. Some claimed the child was a mutation, dangerous and unstable. Others whispered darker ideas, that the universe itself was correcting something, or that an outside force had intervened. Lyra lay in a private chamber, hands resting over her abdomen, feeling faint pulses of warmth from within. Despite the terror around her, she felt something unexpected. Connection. "I feel it," she told Keth softly. "It's alive. And it's not hurting me." "That doesn't mean it's safe," he replied, though his voice trembled. The council demanded invasive tests. Lyra refused. "This is my body," she said, summoning a strength she didn't know she possessed. "You took my hope once. You will not take this." The refusal sent shockwaves through the council. For the first time in recorded Threxian history, a supposedly infertile citizen carried a child and defied authority to protect it. The investigation. Under mounting pressure, the council authorized a full investigation rather than immediate termination. Ancient archives were unlocked. Forbidden data examined. That was when Dr. Helion, a human xenobiologist stationed on Voraltaris, found something buried deep within untranslate records. A reference to the Echo Genesis event. "Your people experienced something like this before," Helion explained, projecting ancient star charts. Long before recorded history. The Threxians listened in stunned silence. "An era when your species nearly went extinct," Helion continued. "Your population collapsed due to genetic stagnation. According to this, the universe responded." "What does that mean?" Keth asked. Helion swallowed. "It means your biology once evolved reactively. When survival was threatened, dormant genetic systems activated." A counselor whispered, "Adaptive reproduction." Saran's eyes widened. A failsafe. The child wasn't a mistake. It was a response. Scans confirmed it. Lyra's reproductive matrix had not been incomplete, it had been dormant. A locked mechanism that activated only under specific conditions. Population decline. Environmental instability. Genetic narrowing. Voraltaris had quietly crossed a threshold. And Lyra's body had responded first. The crisis. Instead of relief, panic spread. If this child represents a new evolutionary phase, Counselor Vesh argued, it could destabilize our entire civilization. What if it cannot survive? Another asked. What if it changes us? And what if others follow? Came the final, chilling question. Some demanded containment. Others demanded control. Lyra became a symbol overnight, hailed as a miracle by some, feared as a harbinger by others. Protests erupted in lower sectors of the habitat. Security forces mobilized. Keth stood between Lyra and the council chamber doors when soldiers arrived. "You will not take her," he said, placing himself squarely in their path. Orders were given, then countermanded. Because the child had begun emitting a measurable energy signature resonating with Voraltaris itself. Power systems stabilized around Lyra's chamber. Biological systems synchronized. The station's artificial ecosystem began correcting minor failures on its own. The child wasn't just alive. It was connected. The revelation. The truth became undeniable. The child represented a new evolutionary bridge capable of restoring balance not only biologically, but systemically. A living stabilizer. A future. Saran addressed the council one final time. We stand at the edge of fear, he said, or at the beginning of renewal. This child is not a curse. It is a reminder that life adapts, even when we believe it cannot. The council voted. By the narrowest margin in history, they chose protection. Lyra wept when she heard the decision, not in fear, but in release. For the first time since her childhood diagnosis, she felt whole. The ending, a child that changed everything. Months later, Voraltaris orbited peacefully, stronger than it had been in decades. Lyra stood in a quiet observation chamber, cradling a newborn wrapped in shimmering fabric. The child's skin glowed faintly, eyes already alert, reflecting stars beyond the viewport. Keth stood beside her, his voice thick with emotion. They were wrong about everything. Lyra smiled softly. So was I. The child let out a gentle sound, not a cry, but a harmonic tone that resonated through the chamber. Systems hummed in response. Life answered life. The scans had once revealed horror. But what they had truly shown was hope, one that forced an entire species to confront its fear of change. The child that should not have existed had arrived. And the galaxy would never be the same.